What's good, YouTube? I'm Robert with the Crosscut Creations channel. Today I'm going to turn a cigar pen in my first video of the pen series. I'm also going to review some Starbond CA glue. They sent me some thin and medium CA glues, so because they were kind enough to send me those glues, I will review them, and if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll tell you what my first impressions are. Let's go make a cigar style pen. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This pen was a lot of fun to create. This is the first video in a series of pen making videos that I'll have. I have turned a few pens, a number of pens on this channel before, but I wanted to introduce a few more kits on this channel. So this first one is a cigar style pen. This was made with a Purple Heart blank. And the best advice I can give about putting the cigar kit together is to make sure that you're organized. I used a video from RJB Woodturner to help me organize and assemble this pen. I will link that video in the description because that was an immense help. If your parts are organized, it is a very smooth operation and a smooth assembly. If you're not organized, all I can say is good luck. The other thing I can offer is that your bushings have to be oriented correctly, otherwise your pen will not go together correctly. When I first got bushings for the cigar style pen, I ended up just assuming that they gave you 2 big bushings and 2 smaller bushings. While that looks like it's the case, there are actually 4 different size bushings in the set that is provided when you buy those bushings. So make sure that your bushings are oriented correctly. What I do is I mark my bushings 1, 2, 3, and 4, as you probably saw in the video, just to keep them oriented correctly. Cigar style pens are a nice pen that really, it's a fatter and bigger pen, so if somebody's into the bigger style pen, it's a nice pen for that. And it's got some weight to it, so that's nice too. I'm sure you could adjust the weight a little bit based on whatever kind of blank you have, but for the most part, it's a nice, sturdy, heavy pen. Now to address the Starbond CA. Overall, it was what I would call different. I've only used one brand of CA so far when I've glued tubes to pens, or tubes to blanks I should say, and when I've finished a blank with CA. So I'm only comparing it to one other brand, and the best comparison the best word I can give you is that it was different. It's not necessarily better or worse, it was just different. It's something that I am going to continue to use just to see me get more, so I can get more comfortable with it. What I can tell you is right out of the box, I used the medium CA to glue the tube to the blank. The first thing I noticed was that it had an odor to it, which wasn't a huge deal. Again, it was just something that was different. It had an odor to it that my other medium CA didn't seem to have, or that I didn't notice. So that was one difference. The other difference was when I went to finish the pens, I used 5 coats of thin CA and 3 coats of medium CA. That's the same process I used with my other CA. The thing that I noticed that was different was the Starbond CA, the Starbond thin CA seemed to really be really thin. So it seemed even thinner than my other thin CA glue. So that was different. That's going to take some time to get used to. Other than that, as a CA glue, as a finishing glue, I don't know that I can recommend it yet, but again, it was a learning curve. I had to get used to it. So I'm going to continue to use the Starbond CA in this pen series and let you know how my opinion of Starbond evolves as I go through this series. Right now, I would give this CA glue a 3.75 out of 5 stars, just because for me it is different. I have to get used to it. The thin did seem a little too thin at times, So for me, that was kind of a negative. And also it didn't finish quite as nice as the other CA that I've been using. And while the smell isn't a huge deal with the medium, it does play a small factor. I will say that the medium CA is great for bonding two pieces together, so that has it going for it. I also really liked how when you open the box, it comes with the CA glue. Starbond CA actually comes with different tips, so if you're looking for a lot of glue to come out of the tube at one time, there's a tip for that. Or you can cut the tip down to make a lot of glue come out. But if you're looking for something that will be a little more precise and you only want a small amount that you want a very specific amount for, they have different tips and different extensions for that. So that was really, really handy, and that is really thoughtful. So Starbond does have that going for them. I want to thank Starbond for supplying the glue for today's project and the project for and the series. I want to thank them for that. It was very kind of them to reach out and send the thin and medium CA. Again, I want to stress that I will continue to update you with my thoughts on this CA as the series goes on. I will have a conclusion video after the series wraps up, after 3 or 4 videos or however long it ends up being. I have an idea of what I want to do with this series, but I will definitely do a wrap up and give you a final thoughts kind of video on Starbond CA and do a comprehensive review once I get a little more time with it, because this was the first pen that I ever used Starbond CA on, whether that be gluing the tubes into the pen blank or finishing it all, or any application. So again, I'll let you guys know my final thoughts once I get through that series. I want to remind you guys that I do have a website, cross-cut-creations.com. I post articles over there after I release the video for the week, and that just kind of reviews the video and gives you a little more detail about how I went about each process, and just gives you a little more detail about the project. I also want to remind you guys that I have a Patreon page that'll be a link in the description. So if you feel like supporting me that way, you can do that. If you like the video, make sure you give it the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss another video, especially if you want to follow along in this pen series. Make sure you share the video with your friends. We'll see you next time.